Here is my current sleep schedule. I go to bed at 10 like a responsible adult, wake up at 2 like a raccoon in a trash can, stare at the ceiling until 4 finally passes, and then I'm back out. And then I pop back up at 6 because apparently my brain thinks 4 hours of broken sleep is all I need. So yeah, I'm basically running on the sleep cycle of a malfunctioning Wi-Fi router. On for a while, crashes, restarts, blinks a few lights, dies again. And shocker, it's not going great. When I don't sleep, I'm anxious, short-tempered, and generally about one trip away from snapping at a stranger for breathing too loud. People say, don't talk to me before coffee. Well, don't talk to me after my 4th night of 2-hour sleep cycles unless you're wearing a full body armor thing. And here's the kicker. It's not like I'm trying to stay awake. My body is tired. My eyelids are tired, but my brain decides that 2 a.m. is a perfect time to replay every conversation I've ever had since 1993. Oh, you want to sleep? Too bad. Tonight, we're going to dissect that awkward thing you said in 8th grade homeroom. Other people lie down, count sheep, drift off. Me? I'm up at 2 a.m. counting unpaid bills, random life regrets, and whether or not I should start a worm farm as a side hustle. And if you've got ADHD, well, you already know sleep is not just close your eyes and rest. It's a full negotiation. I try all the tricks. Dark room, no phone, sleep aids. But meanwhile, my brain's standing there like a drunk guy at last call yelling, "Shots!" Now here's the truth that nobody tells you. Sleep problems are one of ADHD's messiest little side effects. You're either wired all night like you've had 12 espressos, or you crash like a rock in the middle of the afternoon. It's like the switch is either party rave at 3 a.m. or stone dead at 2 p.m. And right now, my switch is stuck on party rave, whether I want it to be or not. So yeah, that's why I'm exhausted, anxious, and running on fumes. If I seem a little unhinged, don't worry, it's not personal. It's just insomnia mixed with ADHD, which basically is like setting your brain to night shift and then never turning it off. And that's what we're digging into today. Because sleep with ADHD isn't just, oh, I stayed up scrolling TikTok. It's a whole circus. And if you've ever laid awake at 2 a.m. thinking, why am I like this? Buckle up. This one's for you. Also, if you're watching this at 2 a.m. because you can't sleep, solidarity. Let's hang. So let's talk about why ADHD brains are absolute trash at sleeping. Because people love to say, just go to bed earlier, as if it's that simple. And sure, Linda, let me just tell my brain to shut up like it's Alexa. Here's the reality. ADHD screws with your circadian rhythm. That's your internal body clock, the thing that tells normal people, hey, it's dark, it's time to go to bed. And meanwhile, my clock is broken. It's sitting in the corner screaming, actually, it's dark. Perfect time to replay that embarrassing thing you said 30 years ago. Our brains don't know when to turn off. And even when our bodies are exhausted, the mind is still buzzing like a neon sign in Vegas. You know how people describe being wired but tired? Well, that's the ADHD sleep brand. Body says go to sleep. Brain says absolutely not. I have memes to review and entire fake conversations to have in my head. And it's not just the timing. ADHD brains are emotionally hyperactive. We don't just feel things, we feel them at maximum volume. So if something stressed you out at noon, guess what? Your body decided to wait until 2 a.m. to process it, right when you finally tried to be a responsible adult and lay down. It's like, oh, hi, you were looking for rest? No. We're going to relive that awkward email thread from work instead. Here's another fun twist. ADHD brains hate transition. Shifting from one activity to another, nightmare. So going from awake and scrolling to asleep and peaceful is like trying to slam on the brakes in a car with no brake pads. You want to stop, but instead you're skidding all over the place. Headlights flashing, hoping you eventually hit a wall and pass out. And don't even get me started on revenge bedtime procrastination. You know, that thing where you finally have peace and quiet at night, and instead of going to bed, you stay up 3 extra hours because it's the only time you are ever in control. That's ADHD's greatest scam. I'll be like, I'm exhausted. And then suddenly it's 1:30 a.m. and I'm reorganizing my spice rack alphabetically. Not because I care about paprika placement, but because my brain refuses to let the day end. Other people end their day with chamomile tea and a book. I end mine arguing at 2 a.m. with myself about whether or not I should start a podcast. So yeah, that's the science, or at least the ADHD version of it. Our internal clocks are busted, our emotions are loud, and our brains, they treat sleep like an optional subscription service that we constantly forget to cancel. And if you've ever thought, why can't I just go to sleep like everyone else? Well, it's not because you're lazy, it's because your brain is like a drunk guy who refuses to leave the bar, even though the lights are on and the chairs are on the tables. That's ADHD and sleep. So what happens the next day after a night of ADHD sleep roulette? Easy answer. Everything falls apart. First, the obvious one, focus. If you thought ADHD focus was rough on a good day, try it on 3 hours of broken sleep. My brain at work is like a dial-up modem from 1999. It's trying to load a single page, and all you hear is this like, ding, 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 ding. Nothing connects. I'll open an email, stare at it, suddenly realize I've been blinking at the same sentence for 10 minutes straight. Then comes mood. Sleep deprivation turns ADHD emotional regulation into a dumpster fire. I wake up snappy, impatient, and about 3 seconds away from yelling to my neighbor's air conditioner, "Stop humming so loud!" Somebody cuts me off in traffic? Boom! Mentally writing their obituary. Somebody at Target blocks the aisle? I'm like, this is how civilizations collapse. And then there's the anxiety. Lack of sleep takes my normal ADHD overthinking and puts it on steroids. Every little thing feels urgent. That text I didn't answer last night probably ruined my relationship forever. That bill I forgot to pay, clearly I'm headed for bankruptcy and jail by Friday. When I'm rested, I can catch myself spiraling. When I'm exhausted, that spiral owns me. Here's the kicker. RSD is louder too. You're already touchy, your skin is thinner, and every tiny criticism lands like a punch. Someone says, "Hey, can you fix this?" And I hear, "Wow, you're a useless human being. Thanks for wasting our oxygen." Sleep and rejection sensitivity are best friends, and they throw the worst parties. For more information on RSD, make sure you check out my last video when you finish this one. ADHD me is like a browser with 48 tabs open, except 47 of them are frozen, and the one that works is playing music that I can't find. I start tasks, I forget tasks, I lose my coffee 3 times in 1 hour, and the kicker, the less I get done, the more anxious I get, which makes the next night's sleep even worse. That's how the cycle digs in. So yeah, the domino effect is real. Bad sleep doesn't just make you tired, it hijacks every ADHD system and cranks the volume. Suddenly your brain isn't just distracted, it's pissed off, and it's convinced that the world is ending. And people without ADHD, they just don't get it. And they're like, just grab a nap. Really? A nap with this brain? It's so adorable. I don't nap. I either lie there thinking about my taxes or I sleep for 4 hours and wake up in 2047. There is absolutely no in between. So if you're wondering why you're grumpy, frazzled, and crying over spilled coffee after a week of insomnia, It's not because you're weak. It's because ADHD plus no sleep is like throwing gasoline on a bonfire and then acting surprised when the house burns down. Now let's get to the weird part. Because with ADHD, it's the random, completely unnecessary shit we end up doing instead. First up, revenge, bedtime, procrastination. That's the fancy term for I finally have peace and quiet, so screw sleep, I'm staying up. And yeah, guilty. I'll be dead tired, eyelids closing, but my brain says nope. This is our only alone time. We're gonna scroll, binge watch, reorganize the junk drawer, maybe start a business. Sleep is for suckers. It's basically self-sabotage dressed up as freedom. And then there's the random late night hyperfocus. Now you know the drill, you're half asleep and suddenly your brain is like, you know what could be fun? Deep cleaning the fridge at 1:42 a.m. And you don't just wipe it down. No, you're pulling out the shelves, scrubbing it with a toothbrush, Googling whether baking soda expires. Meanwhile, your body is begging for rest. And don't tell me you haven't done a random product launch. You lay down, but your brain decides, now's the perfect time to redesign the entire living room or map out a road trip that I'll never take. Well, suddenly it's 3 a.m. and you're knee-deep in Pinterest boards, fully convinced that this has been productive. Spoiler, it's not productive. It's sleep, procrastination, and a party hat. Doo. Oh, and the just one more episode lie, Netflix should rename that button, "You're about to wreck tomorrow." Because ADHD time blindness means we never believe it's as late as it is. It's only midnight, I say. And then suddenly it's 3 a.m. and I'm arguing with myself about why I didn't go to bed when I had the chance. And my personal favorite, the 2 a.m. career change fantasy. Only ADHD could turn bedtime into, what if I moved to Portugal and opened up a surf shop? It's like, why is my brain pitching Shark Tank ideas when I should be unconscious? The wildest part is that while other people are resting and recovering, we're out here starting full side quests. People wake up refreshed. We wake up feeling like we've been on a 12-hour night shift that no one asked for. So yeah, sleep with ADHD isn't just insomnia. It's a nightly circus. One part procrastination, one part hyperfocus, and one part let's reorganize our entire lives at 2 in the morning. And that's why when someone says, just go to bed earlier, I laugh. Because bedtime with ADHD isn't bedtime. It's basically a choose your own adventure book, and every ending is you're screwed tomorrow. All right, let's talk about coping, or as I like to call it, throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping one noodle knocks me out. Because the advice people give for sleep, absolute trash. Just go to bed earlier. Oh, cool, Linda. Thank you for that groundbreaking insight. Next time my brain is buzzing at 2 a.m. like a Vegas casino, I'll just tell it, shh, Linda said sleep now. Problem solved. And then there's the classic. No screens before bed. Right. Because what I really want to do when I can't sleep is sit in the dark with my thoughts. Have you met my thoughts? I'll take TikTok doom scrolling over a midnight existential crisis any day. And don't forget, drink some chamomile tea. Cute. Love a warm beverage. But unless that tea is laced with horse tranquilizers, it's not going to shut this circus down. Here's the truth. ADHD and sleep is not something you fix with one hack. It's a whole messy experiment. What sometimes help? Strict routines. If I go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, eventually my body gets the memo. Not fun and not glamorous, but it helps. White noise or sound machines? I personally need something to drown out the thoughts. Fan, rain sounds, white noise, basically anything that makes my brain think, oh, we're bored now. Writing the chaos down. Half the time I can't sleep because I'm terrified of forgetting something. Jotting it down, even on a sticky note, it lets my brain relax. It's on paper, so I'm not going anywhere. Next is moving my body. Days that I get out and I'm really active, I seem better. Days that I sit like a creature scrolling on my phone, Insomnia City. I'll do all the right things and still find myself staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. That's when you realize coping with ADHD sleep isn't about perfection. It's more about damage control. And let's be honest, sometimes the best coping mechanism is pure sarcasm. If I can laugh at myself when I'm on night 4 of insomnia, it keeps me from spiraling into I'm broken and doomed. Like, no, I'm not broken. I'm just an overcaffeinated insomniac with a Wi-Fi router for a sleep schedule. And that's why my Fitbit has stopped giving me data. It just sends me thoughts and prayers at this point. So yeah, coping with ADHD sleep, it's not pretty. It's duct tape, Band-Aids, and a little bit of community support. The goal isn't perfect sleep, it's surviving the circus without burning the tent down. So here's the takeaway. If you've been dragging yourself through life half awake, snapping at strangers and wondering why your brain treats bedtime like a full-blown rave, you're not broken. It makes everything harder. Focus, mood, anxiety, rejection sensitivity, productivity. Sleep is the foundation, and ours is basically made out of a Jenga block stacked by a drunk guy. But here's the flip side. You're not alone in it. Millions of us are out here wide awake at 2 a.m., scrolling, cleaning, spiraling, or pinning our entire new career that will never actually start. Solidarity. So if you're watching this right now and thinking, holy shit, that's me, here's what to do. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one, because we're going to keep breaking this ADHD circus down piece by piece. Drop a comment with your weirdest late night ADHD moments. Did you reorganize your kitchen at 3? Did you start a random online shopping spree for items you didn't even need? Hello, Amazon. I want to hear it. Misery loves company, and so does comedy. And share this with the other insomniac in your life. Consider it your 2 a.m. public service announcement. Because sleep may never come easy for us, but at least we can laugh about it while we're awake. Okay, that's it. Thanks for hanging out. Now go try to sleep. Or don't. Either way, I'll see you at 2 a.m.